Hey guys, so we have some breaking news. Drug maker Pfizer and BioNTech just announced early stage results for their COVID-19 vaccine, and these results are absolutely phenomenal. As a result, the markets have rallied significantly, hitting new records. Basically, what they found was that this vaccine was 90% effective in preventing the virus. And these results are from 94 evaluable cases of COVID-19 among the study participants. In total, they had about 43,000 volunteers who were in the study, and each participant got 2 injections 21 days apart. Half of them got the trial vaccine, and then the other half got a control that did not contain the vaccine. Then they compared the number of cases of COVID among people who actually got the virus versus those who just got the control. And apparently the numbers show that the vaccine was over 90% effective. And if these numbers are true, it means that this matches the level of protection from most successful vaccines. For example, the vaccine for measles. The FDA originally set a minimum effectiveness bar at 50%, so this well exceeds that and is the first to do so with actual data. By the way, I want you guys to know that the trial's not done yet. It is an event-driven study, so that doesn't last a set amount of time. Instead, it's going to continue until 164 cases of COVID appear among the volunteers. Also, they haven't found any issues with safety, so that is a really good thing. Anyways, these phase 3 trial results show that vaccines can be effective and they might be able to actually stop the pandemic in its tracks once it's released to the public. Hopefully this vaccine is available by late December, and they are projecting about 50 million doses to be given by that time. But it's likely going to take many more months after that for it to be distributed widely to the public. And they are projecting to have about 1.3 billion doses in total in 2021. Obviously, we still need to social distance because the pandemic is actually getting worse and worse each day, with record cases and record hospitalizations each day. This news is not going to affect the virus in taking its toll in the near term. So now what does this mean for the economy and the markets as a whole? Obviously, there are some huge developments. So as of right now, there are some big stock market changes that you guys should be aware of. Shortly after the open of the market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 6% or 1,700 points, which brought it up to a new all-time high. The S&P 500 was also up at 4.4%. Now, by the time you're watching this video, all this might have changed, but just know that there are some pretty significant pre-market activity. There are some stocks of companies that literally went through the roof after this news was released. In some cases, some of these stocks are up 30% or more. For example, companies like American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Royal Caribbean, Carnival Cruise Lines, United Airlines, AMC Entertainment, Cinemark, Dave & Buster's. These are some biggest movers in the positive direction. And of course, Pfizer is up too, as well as other pharmaceutical stocks. For example, Johnson & Johnson and Moderna. But yeah, movie theaters especially, AMC is up over 50% as of right now. If this vaccine works, then these industries can recover at some point. However, just because an industry can recover doesn't mean that a company can recover necessarily. Companies can still go out of business if their earnings are not high enough and they go bankrupt, but the chances of this happening go down the faster a vaccine is released. We also might see travel restrictions being lifted so that people can start flying, going on trips, taking cruises, all of which were hit extremely hard. And like I mentioned earlier, movie theaters that were hit extremely hard because literally no one is going to movie theaters. They're not even allowed to. These companies are all gonna see some huge movement today. Whether or not it's too late to get on these, I don't know, but I just recommend keeping an eye out on them. On the other hand, stay-at-home stocks have fallen drastically. These companies include Zoom, Amazon, Overstock, Biogen, Peloton, Etsy, Grubhub, and Netflix. A lot of e-commerce companies are down in their share price, especially Etsy, because they were huge in the mass marketplace. Food delivery companies are also being hit because obviously if there is a vaccine in a shorter amount of time, then less people will likely use their food delivery services and they'll just go out and eat. Even home entertainment stocks like Netflix are down. Not sure why, but those drops are not as significant. Companies like Slack and Twilio are also down, and it's interesting because although the overall markets are up, tech-heavy NASDAQ is only up 0.8% on this news. So yeah, a lot of tech stocks have been hit for sure. I will say you guys should be careful with these stay-at-home companies right now because this news might cause some panic selling. While these companies are all amazing and they're the future, the short-term gains may be hit pretty drastically. Pretty much any of these high movers in the last year may see some big hits as people shift their mentality of what the future is going to be like. But I have to say, all this progress for these stay-at-home companies, it was bound to happen at some point. This is the future, and the pandemic just made their growth faster than we were expecting. Also, if you look at US USO, oil has moved back above $40 per barrel, so that is also exciting. The vaccination is essential for the normalization of the economy, but earnings won't reach highs until the second half of 2021, and that's when the vaccine will be widely available. The markets were already favorable after the election of Biden because we had better potential for relationships with foreign countries, and there was less uncertainty. Investors were also hoping that, having Democrats in the White House paired with a Senate that is Republican will lead to a more moderate policy, and we won't see any crazy increases in taxes just due to this balance of power. We might also see a new stimulus deal on the table quite quickly. So yeah, guys, be careful investing for now. I do think that this is great news for industries that were wrecked, but we might see some big corrections for some stay-at-home stocks that saw massive growth. It's really up in the air. The economy has no doubt changed drastically due to the pandemic, and we will see a lot of lasting effects. Online education, online communications, e-com, all these are still fantastic industries to invest in. So I'll say don't dump these stocks just because of the news of one vaccine. It's still absolutely the future, and the pandemic just caused them to grow much faster. In the meantime, keep an eye out for stocks in industries that were heavily impacted by the pandemic. Do the thinking for yourself. What companies will have upgraded earnings and be able to rise out of the dead? The pandemic is going to be over at some point, and news like this about the vaccine just means that maybe the pandemic won't go as long as we had thought. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys found this video informative. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this. I make a ton of content about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.